Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to try to fix up this Dyson hairdryer. This is a HD01. I bought it faulty on eBay and it has no power. It's arrived and it does have no power, which is good. It's always nice to have the fault that it says it's got. Now if you have a look here, there's nothing happening whatsoever. There's no sign of life anywhere. So what could be wrong with it? We're going to have to take it apart. Well, first of all, I'm going to check the fuse. And if the fuse is okay, which I presume it is, then we'll take it apart and see if we can fix it. Let's get started. So first things first, let's see if it's the fuse. £13 fuse in here. I'm not actually sure what wattage this is. It is 1600 watts, so 3 amp would be 5. What would 5 amp be? That would be too low because that would be 240 times 5. Get your brain worked out, Vince. Well, if it was 250 times 5, it would be 1250. Take away 5 times 10, so it's 1200 watts. So yeah, you do have to. In the UK, we have 3, 5, and 13 amp fuses normally. So you would need the 13 amp. Hold on. Wait a minute. Surely it's not gone. No, it's not gone. Right, okay, so it's not the fuse. Now, these are hard to take apart. I have looked at one of these before. Annoyingly, you have to prise the buttons out. They're like glued in, so there will be a bit of damage. I'm not going to be able to do it with a bit of plastic because I'm going to need quite a bit of strength. So I've got a bit of metal here. I'm going to put this just underneath onto here to try to not ruin that. And I'm going to see if I can prise the buttons out. There we go. That wasn't too bad. You can see the horrible glue. I'm going to have to try to scrape away some of that glue to put fresh glue in. Now this is going to be a little bit harder because I haven't got the room underneath it. Oh yes, nearly got it there. Yes, I got it. Okay, that wasn't disastrous, so that's good. So hopefully I'll be able to glue those on okay. Once I scrape away that, I'll get some little tweezers and try to pry it out bit by bit, if I can fix it. So we have various different screws underneath here now. This is just a filter that you clean. You undo that and you clean this up here. So this is where the air gets sucked in. Well, these are going to be little Torx. Right, 6 feels good. Torx 6. Well, I can't see any more screws. Maybe this comes down now. Or does this have to come off first? Oh, there we go. I think this opens up. Yeah, well, I can see a nice bit of fluff there. Okay, so you can see that there's some fluff around there. Right, so that's off, and now we've got another screw here, and yeah, it looks like just a 1 screw. And I think that's the same one. The same bit. Are the screws the same? I think so. Now, this should come down. Yes, it does. Look at that. That was nice and easy. Right, so we need to test the cable. And the cable is coming up where? It must be this black and this white one. I can't even see where the cable's being fed. What? There's nothing here. Well, I'm not sure if they're feeding the motor or if this is the main cables coming up. So let's undo these 3 screws here and try to separate it. Again, the same bit seems to be working, but these screws are smaller. I think they're the same. So is this going to come apart? Okay, so we have rubber O-rings. Oh, these have popped out. They're very clean, so I don't think much dust has got into this. I'm pretty sure before they were filthy on the one I was working on. Are you going to come apart? No. Oh, there's another little screw just here. That looks bigger. Yeah, that doesn't fit, so that's a different bit. Gonna try a Torx 8. Too big. Torx 7. A bit small. Let me try Torx 8 again. Yeah, Torx 8 it is. That's a big screw. Look at that. Now you're going to come apart. Yes, you are. Looks like there's some kind of rubbery O-ring here. Is that rubber? So I'm going to have to peel that away from there. There we go. And on this side, so that's like a kind of sticker. There we are. Okay, now I can see them. Brilliant. So now what I have to do is I'm just going to pierce, because I've got very sharp probes. I'm going to pierce from here to here, and it will tell me if the cable's okay, because maybe the cable's dead. You can see the blue, the live and neutral here. Let's go on to continuity. Let's see what we have. So if I pierce just on the rubber, nothing there. Right, so we've definitely got live there. So now let's go over to neutral. Right, so I think the cable's okay, because I didn't do it on camera, but I did try wiggling it and it still didn't work. Right, so we have got no, we've got power. We're going to have 240 volts AC here. Why have we not got it any further? So I think now we need to follow the power, which goes up under here somewhere. So does this prise off? Oh, yes it does. Right, that prizes off. And we've got a load more screws. So let's undo them. But I don't quite know what... Oh, maybe this then comes away and I can test the on and off. I can test the on and off switch. Maybe the on and off switch is not doing what it needs to do. So they are tiny. So let's try Torx 5. Don't think so. Torx 4. Yes, Torx 4. I'll tell you what we'll do. I know that's the cold button. We don't really... Well, we'll just test the cold button, but that shouldn't... that's not going to stop it from working. But let's just see if we go on diagonals, if it works. Yes, it does. And diagonal this way. So that works. But we want to do the main power switch. I think all those 4 screws are the same. So the one I did before, from memory, there was all fluff and hair here, and hair had managed to get around the motor, and it was causing overheating. So now, are you going to come down? Yes, you are. Aha. So that's just a cover. And we have it here. So how do I prise... Well, how do you come out? Oh, you want to drop down. You want to drop down there. Oh, so we have a cable going in the bottom and in the top, so it just breaks it from there. Unless, of course, I was just to try pierce the cable with my probes, just go here and just above, just here, and that will then tell me if the switch is working. Because you can see we have one going in here and just above that. So So I can get in just there. You see that black thing just there? Let's try piercing that. So we'll turn it on, which should be up, I think. Let's see if we have continuity. In fact, that's on the black wire, so I could just go, I could go here because I've already pierced here on the brown. So I could go here and just above. There we go. It's working. It's not the switch. If I turn that off, we will now have nothing there. I'm only piercing very gently. Nothing there. Right, so we know the switch is working. And now this is starting to get worrying. So we've definitely got power going up into here. We're going to have to try to prise this off and get into the top. I'm wondering, should I try to take this off or would it be all right? Looks nice and clean. A bit dusty there, but it doesn't look like there's a load of hair in it. I'm going to see if this will come out. Yes, it will. And what do you do? Yes, okay. So that goes there, and that's idiot proof. I can't put it wrong. Well, the motor itself looks very clean. I can't see any dust or hair in here. Look in there. That looks nice. I suppose if the motor... No, if the motor was faulty, I'm pretty sure we would still have lights, because I don't think this would know the motor's faulty. And we should still have lights here. So the very fact that we've got nothing suggests that it's probably not the motor. So I have to now... what am I going to do now? I'm going to have to undo this from here. This is all heat shrinks on because I have to pull this through. See, the white wire is continuous, so we need to break the white wire from here. So I'm going to have to try to separate this. And it's all heat shrinked. So I'm going to have to put it apart and then try to put a heat shrink on if I can get this working. There we go. That's not too bad. We're going to pull out. That's just a spade connection. You should pull out. Wow, that was hard. Now, when I did my Dyson hairdryer before, a lot of people have quite a bit of hate for these Dyson products because they say it's like overpriced junk. Yeah, I mean, I bought a new hairdryer for my wife for a Christmas present years ago, and it was, I think it was £300. It was expensive, but she's been more than happy with it. Now, I don't know, is that because, oh my word, because people think if something's expensive, it must be good, but she likes it. You know, I said it in my last video, it's got a long cord. That makes a difference. Sometimes on cheap hairdryers, they have a shorter cord. And to be fair, our one has lasted, well, our one that's ended up going with my daughter away at uni. Oh, and we're now using the one that I fixed in the last video because I wasn't sure how good it would be. You know, it's still working. It's still working good. So although it's expensive, I think that she would want another one if that one was to fail. So if I can get this working, that could be that one. But are they worth the money? You know, I don't want to say yes, but I think, you know, I think she would want another. Why is it different than a normal hairdryer? Don't know. It's something to do with it dries it quicker with less heat, so you don't burn, you don't damage your hair as much. Anyway, sometimes with products, it can just be, they make you feel better, you know? Bottom line is, I'm sure a £20 hairdryer is going to dry your hair just as good, and you can go through, £20, you can go through, what, 15 of them? Is that correct? 15 of them for the price of this. 15 hairdryers, no matter how cheap the quality, is probably going to last you your lifetime. So yeah, you're not buying a product like this to save money, but if you like it, then whatever, you know. Right, I'm going to have to try to prise this off here. Again, probably cause damage. I think I got this for quite a good price on eBay. I'll flash up on screen what it was. I think it was about 40-ish pounds, maybe 45. Right, so that's out there now. You can see there's a little rubber seal around there. Give me an opportunity to clean that. Quite a bit of dust. So we need to follow the path in. Now, this is... Oh, that's come out. So I presume that goes on the end there. Now, I personally haven't gone further than this, I don't think. But there is teardown videos online and they rotate. I may have to double check. They rotate this, I think, counterclockwise and this counterclockwise. And then it pulls out. So let's try doing that. So I am going to be careful of the components underneath. Where am I going to go now? I can see resistors here and here. Where am I going to go where I'm not going to damage? Should I try? I don't know what those things are, here and here. I think I'm going to go here, because if I knock the resistors, I've got a chance of replacing them. I don't know what they are. Oh, that didn't feel good. Should I try going the other way? Hold on. So, oh, there we go. That turns. So it's actually going clockwise. Oops. Uh-oh. The whole thing's turning. So maybe oh, what? Well, I don't know what I've done, but it seems to... I hope I've done that correct. It seems to want to come out. So let's try to feed all this through. Might be easier said than done. The circuit board here. It's got a circuit board with a little bit... It says Dyson on it. Look at that. So I suppose that proves that this is definitely a real one. Hidden away and it still says Dyson. Yeah, I'm not really sure now how that came apart, because I thought you were supposed to do it this way and this way, but this one I seem to just all do from the back. It's probably not correct. So maybe this is the problem I've got. If it hasn't separated, how am I going to get all these through? Oh, you just pull it forward a bit, I think. Oh, here we go. So that's through. That's the switch. Oh, I hope I know how to put this back. Right, that's that. Now the rest of you need... Hey! Fantastic. Okay, again, look here. Gives me an opportunity to clean that. And that's a nice solid ring there. Okay, now we are into it. We are into it. Now there's supposed to be thermal fuses in here. Where are you? Do I just pull that to separate? I'm going to need to separate this. You've got the black wire go into here. Black wire go into there. So let's just double check the switch one more time now that it's fully, we've got full access. So here to here, off. Now turn it on. Here to here. Yep. Switch is definitely okay. Don't know. Oh, that's the coal button switch there. We've already tested. So I want to pull this apart. So I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to undo this thing here. Oh, I do not know what that is. Looks like some weird diode thing. Don't know what that is. Let me take a couple of pictures, because otherwise I'm going to forget where to put things back. Maybe that's maybe that cuts out in a if it was to overheat. Right, take that out. Take this out. Oh no, you just go there. So what are you? Hold on, that's the main. Is that not the main one coming in? And what's that there? Looks like a big capacitor. So the white one comes up. No, the white one goes to here. And we have like little pogo pins, so maybe this lifts off the back as well. Let's see now. Oh, look at it. Oh, here we go. Thermal fuse time. And they look burnt. That looks as burnt as could be. So that just popped out there. And it's kind of keyed. I hope I know how to put that back in. Right, let's do... so we've got 2 thermal fuses. That looks like it's purple at the end. That looks like it's brown. Let's go to continuity again. And let's see what we have. Yep, working. Not working. There we go. Thermal fuse problem. So where do you go to? Here. Where was my big black wire? So big black wire from the switch, so we know that that's live, goes up to here, here, through to here, back to here, and this goes maybe... don't know where the other end of that is. Was it this? Oh, there is it. Hold on. 1 second. Black wire. Let's leave this black thing on. Right, so that's on. So you go to where? You go to here. But you're not coming to here. So where does this side go to? Is it here? Oh, it comes back on this tiny, what looks like an earth wire. So this is not going through. Hold on. So this little, what I'm going to call an earth wire, which isn't an earth, you can see it's going to here. But it's not going to here, and this is where the black wire goes. Yeah? So we should have, I presume, continuity between here and that yellow wire, and we haven't, because this one's gone. So what I need to do is, I need to find out what this one is. Maybe they cut out if somebody holds this too close to something for too long. I mean, you know, obviously they're there for safety, but you would have thought that there would have been some bimetallic thing that would cut off, and then when it cools down, it starts working again, like a normal hairdryer. Why have you got thermal fuses here, where, you know, if you were to accidentally leave it down there, does that mean that it's ruined? It's landfill for most people. That's a bit bad, if that's the case. Because I'm thinking that they're there, and that is the end of that is the end of it, isn't it? So that's the very end there. So if you were to block that up, that's not like a normal hairdryer. And I wonder, is that what's that then? Is that temperature this thing? And if that's temperature, why is that not cutting out first? I'm not sure. Unless, you know what it could be? Maybe this is designed to cut out first, but if there was a fault, then they're a backup, which says, does that mean that this is faulty? So I don't even know what that thing is here. Don't know if it's glued in or not. Yeah, it's pushed in there. I don't know what that is. Or is that like a starter capacitor? You know, some things have a starter capacitor. I wonder if that's a starter capacitor. Not sure. Put it down in the comment section if you know. So we need to try to get this out. Try to get a new one in. I'm going to snip it. Let's see if we can read what it's supposed to be. Actually, make sure I've got the right one. Yeah. So I suppose like zombie apocalypse style thing, if you had to have your hairdryer, if I was just to join that to that, then we still have one thermal fuse for protection, but obviously it's designed for two, so it would be dangerous, but I think it might well work. So let's zoom in and see if we can work out what this is. Right, it says micro. I've definitely seen those before. Micro temp, definitely seen them, and I do have lots of thermal fuses. 2FA, not sure what that means. CWV, I think I'm going to have to Google this. G540. Here's the temperature. Right, TF 184C. So I need a TF 184C. What amp is it? 5 amp. Would it be G58? I think G5 might mean 5 amp, but I'll have to double check that. Well, I just put it into Google and the AI is coming up with this. 184 Celsius, which is what's marked up, but it's saying 16 amp to 20 amp, often 2 in series, which there is. So, yeah, I thought it said 5 amp on it. Well, fair play. I typed in micro temp G5A01 184C, and yeah, I mean it has brought it up here on Farnell's, and it does say 16 amp 184. I don't think I'm going to have any 16 amp ones, so I'm going to see what I've got here. 16 amp, that's 84C. Yes, 16 amps, so they are all 16 amp. Right, let me see what I've got. I'm pretty sure that mine are going to be a much lower amp than that. Right, I've gone through all my spares and I have a ton of fuses, because when I did the Advent Challenge, not this year, the year before, half the things needed thermal fuses. So I've got just about every single temperature you can think of. So we're looking for 184. 84. 110. 240. 144, and halfway through. 172, 128, 117, 205, getting worried, 192, 184. But it says G4A and the other one is G5A. Bear with me. I bet you that's not going to be the correct amperage. Like maybe G1 would be like 2 amp or something. G3 might be 5 amp. G4 might be 10 amp. G5 might be 16 amp. So it was G5A0118. Ah, yeah. That's going to be wrong. Let me see what a G4 is. Ah, irritating. 10 amps. So I've got all these and I still need to buy more. So I order myself up some from CPC. There is a minimum amount for delivery, otherwise you have to pay for handling and delivery. So I order up 10 of these and I get a load of ceramic fuses as well as some side cutters, and that brings me over the amount that I need to spend, and it gives me more spares for other jobs in the future. I also I'm going to wash every single part of the plastic off this hair dryer, because I think a lot of hairspray has been used around it, because when I added a little bit of water to the handle, it was amazing. It was just like layers of what sort of dirt coming off it, but I don't think it was dirt. I think it might have been glue. You know, when you use a lot of hairspray, it does leave like a layer of glue everywhere, because I suppose essentially it is some kind of like aerosol glue. As well as that, I'm going to pick out all the old glue from the buttons, because when I glue the new ones in, if they're already full of glue, there's no real where for the glue to go, because they're already full of glue. While if I pick out the old glue, it means when I epoxy them in, it's got room to grip on to the rubber and also the back of the button as well. So I'm going to pick up this video in about a week's time. The spares do arrive after about 3 days, but I'm not there. I'm in Birmingham at the NEC Practical Classic Car Show. Thoroughly enjoyed myself looking around all the cars there. What's great about that one is you can pay £10 for 2 people to go into an enclosure where they have all the cars for auction, and it gives you a proper chance to look around the cars and sit in them and get a feel for them. For example, I don't think I've ever been in a split screen Volkswagen Combi before. Went in one of them, thoroughly enjoyed it. Couldn't believe how flat the steering wheel was. It was like you were driving an old bus. Not that I've ever driven an old bus. Also got to sit in a Ferrari 400, which was Lovely, another classic car. And loads of others, like there was Minis there. There was a mini limousine there that I thought was quite funny. But it kind of reignited my thought about getting another one for a project, because you all know I did the Rolls Royce. Well, I think it'd be quite nice to do something that maybe I did the Rolls Royce because I thought it would be interesting for videos. What might be nice is finding a car that I really want, not just for the videos, you know, something that I actually want. And that way then, although the Rolls Royce grew on me, I wasn't in the market for a Rolls Royce. If I get something that I really, really want, then I think I would enjoy doing the videos much more. So, yeah, hopefully I might be getting a project sometime this year. I just need to decide, am I going to get something very small, like an old Fiat 500 or a moped that can fit in my garage, or am I going to get something bigger that I can do at my dad's again, but then have the challenges of the English weather? So, but saying that, when the sun's shining, you can't beat working outside. Anyway, let's pick up this video in about a week's time.
1 week later.
Probably about a week or so later now, my CPC spares have arrived. The thermal fuses were even cheaper via this company here. And yeah, I should have the correct one. We can unbag this and get it installed. Oh, I got worried there because I forgot what I ordered, but I bought a load of ceramic fuses because they're always useful to have. I can tell that they've been around a while because they're all very, very dirty. But they are my thermal fuses here, so hopefully they're the correct ones. I'm just going to take them out and make sure. And it means that I've got more ceramic fuses for the future, which is always good. And I bought myself some side snips here because I find that these ones that you buy, although they are dirt cheap from AliExpress, they really crack very easily. So I'm wondering, I paid a little bit more, not much, I think maybe £4 or £5. I'm wondering whether these would be stronger, because I wouldn't mind something that would last a bit longer and doesn't keep breaking every other week. Ah, oh, feels so good having my camera working again with the touch screen. I've released a video, if you haven't seen it already, where I was tormented by my camera, but got there eventually. Spoiler. Anyway, you can see it here, G5A01, 184 degrees Celsius there. So I am going to put this in. Now, you do need to crimp these on, because the thing is, your soldering iron is going to be more than 184 degrees Celsius. But I'm not going to be able to crimp it on. I might try to get a crimp on one side, but yeah, I'm not going to have the tool to do both sides or the crimps. So I will be soldering it in place. But what I'll do is, if I was to use, for example, let's say if I was going to solder here, yeah, then I would use massive pliers to sink all the heat away. And then if I apply solder here, I'm thinking it's going to be localized. Well, this is what I've done before and it's worked. If it blows, not a problem, I've bought spares. So, but most of the heat should be going down here and it shouldn't be going here. Likewise, when I do this side here, I'll go onto here and then hopefully this item itself won't be getting up to 184 degrees Celsius for it to blow, but it was still solder. So I'm going to get my little feral crimper out, feral rather than feral cat. And I do try to get a crimp on one side. What I do is I just cut away the plastic. You use these on stranded wire if you want to use it in a screw terminal, because then you're screwing onto the solid bit of metal rather than the stranded wire, which can break the strands. So it's quite a good idea on stranded wire to put one of these on. I cut away the plastic and I'm just using the little tube as a kind of way of crimping it. But I do it on one side, but the problem is I think I've used wire that's the tube's slightly too big, because it doesn't take much to take them out. Also, they're too long. So what I do is I use the size down and I elongate the tube a little bit to make it wider. And then it just about fits in the wire from my thermal fuse, the legs from my thermal fuse, and the legs that I left behind on the Dyson. So in a way, even without soldering it, it's making a pretty good connection. But then what I'm going to do is add a little bit of flux and I'm going to melt the solder deep down into the tube, and the tube's going to be full of solder, and that way then we should have a good connection. I like this little bit here. I'm using my pliers, but because I haven't got 3 hands, I'm using an elastic band on the pliers to keep them shut. So let's pick up the video as I'm about to do the soldering. That's proper snug. well, probably doesn't come across in the camera, but they're super tight. So it's even as it is now, I don't think that's going to go anywhere. But let's flood it with solder. I'm going to heat it up and try to get the solder down using gravity, get it into there. Let's use the smallest bit of flux. And I'm going to have to try to hold this on here. Obviously I don't want to use too much force. I just want it to stay in place. So let's put that here like that. And now let's gently put that here, like so. Right, okay. So we're going to flood that area in there with solder, hopefully. And I'm hoping the heat won't go into the fuse. Now, so that's where we're going to be going, just there. I'm going to load up my iron with solder to begin with. Then put it on here and I'm going to hopefully flood it through. Come on, get in. Got the shakes. Go on, in you get. There you go. That went in good, I think. Mind you, it's hollow here. There we go. I'll clean it up afterwards. But I put loads of solder in that. Loads and loads and loads. I'm pretty sure that would be full. I've got it on the top as well, but it went in the middle. Okay, let's see now if I can feel a bit of heat. Let's see if we have continuity. I didn't actually check it beforehand. You ready? Yes, we still got it. So I haven't blown it open yet. Now let's do the same on this one here. Solder broke the other day, so I just twisted it around. Let's see if I can still get it. It's going to get very fat, but hopefully I can get it in. So where we going? Here. There we're going. Takes a while to heat up, you see. Going in you get. Flood all the way down. All the way down. There we go. Right, there's loads in there. Might have left that on a little too long. No, but that's not even... It's warm. It's not... well, also that's warm there. Yeah, it feels a bit more than room temperature. Please, 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 still have it. Continuity. Yes, I have. Why they didn't work there for a second? I think I mustn't have been on it very well. Right, so we should have it between here and here, which we do. Fantastic, and we didn't before. And that is definitely full of solder. In fact, you can see it's gone all the way through here. So if you have a look here, can you see the solder's gone all the way through? So I put it in from this side, and it would have gone all the way down inside to here. And I'm pretty sure, I think I put enough solder in to get it all the way to here as well. I know I can't see it here, but I reckon it's definitely nearly along the way, because it would get sucked in, it will get wicked in. Right, let's... I know it looks like I've done it on the outside. I promise you I put loads of solder in and it didn't drip anywhere else. I forgot about that actually. You've got to be careful to make sure it doesn't drip and short anything. Right, let's clean that up with a tiny bit of isopropyl alcohol. I don't want to get everything sopping wet here. So I'm rather pleased with that there. Now I need to just give it a tiny little clean and then I need to start putting it back together, which is a reversal of taking it apart. I've got to start with the Captain tape and then bit by bit piece it back together. I'm not going to lie with you. It is a bit of a nightmare. There is loads of stuff that needs to be crammed in and the wires and stuff get in the way. I think by far the thing that helped me out most was a video by Thrifty Tool Shed. So if you're struggling to put your one back together, then check out his videos, and he's done various different parts on disassembly and then reassembly as well. So yeah, I would have struggled. I could have watched my own video back, but for me it was easier to watch his video. So yeah, helped me out massively, so thank you. I am going to shout out to my mate Vince massive. Also, I forgot to say, don't copy me in any of these things. I'm doing this purely for entertainment. I think I've done it correctly, and I think what I'm doing is safe. But remember, I am soldering these in. They're not crimped like original. I think it's going to be fine, but I don't actually know 100%. So obviously, if you're copying me, do it at your own risk, because I am not a professional. Now, let's give a shout out to the my mate Vince massive. And I think what I'm going to do here, because I haven't done it in a few years, I'm going to try to beat this. I'm going to try to do a world record attempt on how quick I can name them out, and then you can do it in your own time, because everybody likes doing stuff like this. So I'm just going to wait until my second hand gets to the correct thing, and here we go. The My Mate Vince Massive members are Keemon Services, Kip Higgs on YouTube, Max Recantancy, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Russ Medicine, Rickard Berglund, Shamsat El Swadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from the Broken Pass on YouTube, Lee Benz, AJ Computer Services UK, Chris Bayan, Victor B and Garen Shaw. Stop. 5, 10, I think that was 15 seconds. Let me verify with the actual editing of it. Yep, 13 seconds or thereabouts. Some of them can be quite tricky. Max Rokatansky, when you're saying quickly, is a bit of a tough one. Right, I am putting this back together with the help of the Thrifty Tool Shed. And I have to put new little heat shrinks on, remember the spade connectors where the mains cables come in, and it's all going very, very well until I realise I've done this after it's nearly all back together. There, and that goes together. Right, okay, that's looking far better. Imagine now if it still doesn't work. Oh, you're kidding me, Vince. Oh, no, no, no. You absolute numpty. Oh, no, 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 no. This has to go on here before the heat shrinks. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to plug it in, see if it works, because at least then I know. So I'm plugging it in now. And let's see, I shouldn't get electrocuted. Result. And I can feel it's warm. They're working, and that's working. And now let's go hot, and I want to see if the cold's working. Yes, it is. Happy days. Right, okay. That's spurred me on now. I don't care about that little mistake. It's working. And it's a very nice looking hairdryer. Obviously I'm unplugged again. So there we have it. It wouldn't be a My Mate Vince video without a boo-boo. Easy mistake to make. Sort of mistake you only ever make once though. Anyway, I have to dismantle quite a bit again to get this filter housing cover on. The only other way of doing it is to cut the plug off, and it's a moulded plug. So I would never do that. Even if it was to take me an hour to take it apart, I still wouldn't do that. So it is back together, and I have to glue on these little buttons. I've already cleaned them all out, so by cleaning them out, I've now got plenty of area for the glue to go. If you don't clean out the old glue in there, then you've got very little area for the new glue to key into. But now I've got loads of space there, so I'm using epoxy, Gorilla Glue epoxy. So this is a 2-part glue that will chemically set after a short amount of time. So I leave it a good, put the epoxy on, I think I'll probably leave it 10-15 minutes only to finish up the video. I then go on to leave it a good few hours before I test them again. So, and also one of the buttons does go on a certain way, so the cold button doesn't make a difference as far as I can see, but the other one, the sort of moulded H in there, will only go one way. If you put it on the wrong way, I think it will still work. It's just the button when it's on sort of sits more in the middle rather than up the top. So it's all back together, all glued, all looking nice and clean. Let's finish up the video in the other room. But what's interesting is one thermal fuse caused this to fail. Why? Was it just user error? I would say yes. I think somebody's been using it way too close to whatever they were drying. So maybe they had it right up against their head but I would say that would end up burning you. So I'm not really sure why this would have failed, but it must be because there wasn't enough airflow at the front and it caused the thermal fuses to fail. But you put down in the comment section what you think. Why isn't there those bimetallic safety switches that you have in normal hair dryers? Because at least then when they cool down, they make the contact again. So yeah, I don't know why they've used thermal fuses in this instance here. Again, if you know, put it down in the comment section below. So let's cut to the video now where everything's glued, cleaned and finished, and we're back in the other room. Well, it's been about 15 minutes now, so I'm going to be very gentle with the buttons because they will need a little bit longer, but I'm just going to finish up the video here now. I think it's come out very, very nice. I don't think anybody would have a problem using that at all. And it is a good looking hairdryer. So turn it on here. Straight away it comes on, buttons nice and bright. 3 different levels for the speed. And 3 different heat levels. I can actually smell a little bit of hairspray. You know, that kind of like smell of hairspray. And if I do the cold button here, you can see it goes out there, and also I can feel that it's gone cold. I love that. So that is it for this video. If you did enjoy watching it, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you all again very, very shortly. Thank you so much for watching.